Thirdly, faith gives you a moral compass without which work could corrupt you. There is a lot of pressure. There is no doubt about it. Because of the global economy, there is so much pressure for profitability. There's so many companies that over the years just need to make enough profit to keep the lights on and pay your employees and give your investors a bit of a return. And now there's so much need for squeezing every bit of profitability out of it. And there's a tremendous amount of pressure to cut corners and to do whatever it takes to turn the profit. And one of the things that's so awful right now in this world is when you go to college, you're going to be told that morality is relative. It's relative. That it's person-specific and it's culturally relative, and nobody's to say what is right or wrong. And then you get out into the world, and you're going to have all kinds of temptations to cut corners and do things that are dishonest, lack integrity, lack of transparency. And then if you get caught, they're going to slam you. They're going to take you to the cleaners. They're going to take you to the newspapers, and you're going to say, "Hey, I was told everything is relative, but then it's just because I did this and this and that." That's where we are today. Unless you've got a strong inner moral compass that comes from being a Christian, you're going to have a lot of trouble. You're going to have a lot of trouble saying, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell the investors what it's really worth. I'm not going to sin by omission. Just leave that out. I'm going to be more transparent with my customers. I'm going to do it, and you might lose your job. But in the long run, it's a whole lot better to have that moral compass." I know a man who's at the top of a big bank in Britain who's a Christian, and he told me recently, by the way, the bank has been in the news like so many of the banks for all sorts of moral issues and scandal, etc. And he said there was a kind of off-the-record little clandestine meeting of the top of the top of the top, and they said, "What are we going to do to we got to get values back in this organization." Years ago, even 20 years ago, this is Britain now, they said there was all sorts of things. It wasn't illegal, but you just didn't treat customers like that. You just didn't take that much money out for yourself. You just didn't do these things. It just wasn't done. It wasn't the decent thing to do. In the last 15, 20 years, all that's gone away, and we do everything that's legal and then some. And he said, "What are we going to do?" They said, one person said, "What are we going to do to get values back in the company?" You know what everybody else said to them? Whose values? How do you define morality? We don't know how to define morality anymore. You can't get the genie back in the bottle culturally right now. But if you're a Christian, you have that moral compass. Otherwise, you could really get corrupted.